This DJ will kick the floor in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, and welcome. Yay, my daughter. What is going on?
I feel like we don't have sound. Why am I not hearing myself?
That's what I'm feeling too. Or it is just not coming out.
I'm not hearing any feedback.
Hello, guys.
I heard it before, but now I'm not hearing it anymore.
Let's see.
Yo. Yes, sir. What's up, guys? Yes. This DJ will kick the floor in 3.
Okay. My bad. The sound is good, is there? It was just yeah. What did he call these people, Rata? Nobodies?
Already nobody.
Who said law is being? Who said?
He has reached another level of arrogance, in my opinion.
Hey, this one.
There are a bunch of nobodies asking why is he not holding a trial within a trial. And I'm like, when you've reached this level of getting so annoyed by people that have opinions on what you do, I just know that you're already out of the game.
Yeah.
He wants to be a victim. Have you seen a judge who wants to be a victim in a case where he's not even accused?
He's a liar because he said he doesn't watch these things.
Yes, he said he doesn't watch them.
He's a liar.
Now he saw
so
them.
He lies. He
feels offended.
He goes and watch. Now he's telling us that he's watching. He's a liar. I gotta say he does not watch these things.
I was like, you have already lost. Whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, it's not coming together if you have to go that low. Addressing people that are on social media in court. Aishem, Ubi.
We don't care.
Ego is bruised.
We just don't care.
Ego is bruised. It is hurt. It is damaged. Emotional damage. But it didn't stop him.
We don't care.
Certainly didn't stop him from twisting the law again. Twisting again and just creating a new precedent is what they say in the law. He has just set a whole different ball game for admission of statements in a courtroom at a high court level. Sazoshuba.
Sazobamnandi.
Hi, Mr. Anonymous Court started with the judge forcing Nisi to repeat the objections that he raised yesterday. He literally wanted him to list the number of objections he had from yesterday. He wanted him to rehash what happened yesterday. And Mnisi said that they were already on record. And he asked Numalo if he heard Mnisi say, repeat the evidence. And then Numalo said, yes, I'd normally repeat the evidence. But then the judge said, yeah, it's not fashionable with me. It happens in courts. And I'm like, he has to repeat everything. Well, Mnisi repeated the evidence. He said that the state took Mr. Zungu over the document in order to determine the portions that he said he did not agree with, and that was despite the fact that this witness had indicated earlier on that when he first met Brigadier Gininda, it was just a communication between them, and he asked him certain questions and he answered those questions, and Brigadier Gininda was busy writing, and then he went away. The following day he came back and said that they've now prepared a statement And he said, you can say whether there's anything that you want to add or change in what you said yesterday. The witness says, no, because I think that he is a policeman. There's nothing untoward that he would have done or amended or added in what I told him. And as my answers to him the previous day, then I appended my signature on that document. What was contained in that document, he said he didn't know because it was never read back to him. Now the state ultimately says that when Mr. Baloyi now reads the statement to you again, not to you, because it was the first time Mr. Baloyi read the statement, or the statement was ever read to Makhosonke back to him. And he said, let's go through the statement with you to determine the portions that you do not agree with. And Makhosonke then said, I stood up and objected to say, but that's highly, that's when Mnisi said he stood up and objected to say that it's highly irregular because that process would mean that the content of the statement is driven into the record through the back door. A cross-examiner who wants to cross-examine a witness on the basis of their statement simply has to satisfy certain requirements which are jurisdictional factors and are enunciated in the case of State versus Govender. I was looking forward to hearing this presentation yesterday that we were left with. I was like, Mnisi is going to come prepared this morning and state to us the State versus Govender case and also what the Criminal Procedure Act says about such a condition where a defense witness is held hostage by a statement that the state said he took, and he's a defense witness and the state is saying his oral testimony is not enough. They want to use his statement against them. I wanted to know, I was very interested in such, but then Judge Rata was ncisha konke lokho. He didn't even give Advocate Mnisi a chance to present his argument, to state his case. He didn't even give him a chance. He started going on and on, blabbing and blabbing. He said, let's hear what Govender says because I think this is a simple matter. And Govender is not applicable. Just listen to me. The state has got a constitutional right to cross-examine any witness who gives evidence against the state. But that's not what's being objected. Who said the state is not allowed to cross-examine? Nobody said that. Then he gave a deflecting statement, making this about the right to cross-examine. When the issue is that they actually failed to call, to give the witness that statement that he claims they took from him. But now the state wants to introduce that statement via the back door when the defense allowed him to give oral testimony. They are literally hijacking a defense witness and making them seem like he's a state witness. And I was interested in finding out how Mnisi was going to argue. But I sancisha ituba, a divine opportunity. It was snatched. Well, the judge says section 35(3), and the state has got the right to assail any evidence that was given in this court. Highlight that in this court. That statement was not given in court. Was it? No. It wasn't. Makhosonke gave his oral testimony. The duty of the state was to just simply cross-examine him on what he said. And if there's anything that they feel is an allegation or maybe they wanted to use that statement against, they should have found a creative way instead of imposing that statement on him. If they wanted to use the statement, then they should have called him as a state witness. Right? Then he said that, the judge said it's not about the statement, it's about the evidence. Your client gave evidence, so the doctor here is entitled to cross-examine. It's as simple as that. And me, I've got to listen to the evidence. The doctor is entitled to raise any question of law if he thinks it's meat. He said, all I have to do after listening to the evidence, I've got to determine whether in fact the evidence which has been adduced is admissible or not. It's not me saying that. I can give you the constitutional case here, the case of Mawanda Makala Veli Lewaka, the Director of Public Prosecutions. This is a judgment on the 20th of December 2024.
Let me just disturb you a bit. I want us to go through this. So, here's the scenario. Let me push it up a bit. Here's the scenario. And I want you to tell me if we're ticking the box in that case. As nobody's, we are going to tick the box.
Yes.
The witness originally made a statement to the police, according to them.
Yeah.
They intended to call the witness as a state witness.
Yes.
And they did not call the state witness.
They did not.
The defense calls the witness. The witness denies context of the police statement, right? And then the defense does not use the statement in examination or their cross-examination. The state now wants to use the statement while cross-examining the defense witness.
Yes.
And then the defense objected.
Yes.
Correctly so, right?
Yes.
It is correct. Because the defense's objection, the defense objection is very correct. The state may not use the statement in the circumstances. It may not.
Is that what the law says?
Hey, why the state is not allowed to use...
Mr. Anonymous, is that what the law says?
Yeah, that's what the law says.
Thank you.
Why the state is not allowed to use the statement? The statement is hearsay. Because the witness denies the statement. It is not admitted. It has not been proved. The state cannot use unproved hearsay to impeach credibility unfairly.
To impeach credibility unfairly.
And introduce evidence through the back door, as they say.
And introduce evidence through the back door.
The state did not call the witness. That is very critical. The state elected not to call the witness. It therefore lost that right to rely on the statement. To impeach the witness using its own statement, unproved statement. The defense calling the witness does not revive the state's right to do that.
Tina, abo nobody.
So cross-examination must be fair. In this case, it is not fair. Cross-examination may not ambush the defense.
They got ambushed again.
Introduce evidence, not led. They introduced evidence, not led. Nisi left the statement on purpose. So by them cross-examining the statement, they are introducing the evidence that was not led by
the defense.
The defense.
Niezwa.
That's circumvent hearsay's rules. Now,
circumvent hearsay rules.
In S versus Mkhohle in 1990, it says that deals with unfair cross-examination. It is impermissible. It is impermissible. Unfair cross-examination is impermissible. So prior inconsistent statements and prior statement may only be used to impeach credibility if the witness admits making it or if it is proved through the maker. Here the witness denies the statement. The statement is never proved, therefore inadmissible.
It's automatic.
What the court should have ruled or should rule is the court should say the objection is upheld. The statement is hearsay, denied by the witness, and was not relied upon by the defense. The state may not use it to cross-examine.
Aye, he could not do that.
But
not
what the state could
Judge
do...
Ratam Khwatleng, never.
What the state could do is to test credibility based on oral evidence given in court. Internal contradictions, probabilities. That's it. It cannot read. It cannot read
the statement.
It
cannot
put
read
its context to the witness, suggest its truth, its truth to the witness. You should not do that. You can go read the case laws such as S versus Ndlovu. Hearsays cannot be used indirectly, and then S versus Ramavale, police statements is not equal to evidence.
Police statements is not equal to evidence.
You can also use S versus Mkhwanazi. Prior statements are not proof.
Prior statements are not proof.
So, when Mrs. said, "My Lord, the statement is attempting to introduce denied hearsay through cross-examination. The witness was not called by the state. The statement is not is unproved, and the defense did not rely on it. This is impermissible." Bottom line, the defense objection must succeed. State cannot be used. The statement cannot be used by the state. Cross-examination limited to viva voce evidence.
Viva voce evidence.
Now,
cross-examination
we are nobodies.
Limited to viva voce.
We are nobodies here, but clearly we can read when urata. We can read.
Akusafani nakudala, information ikhona.
We are not just. I mean, information is everywhere.
It's available.
It's available. So you cannot tell us that we should not differ with you like you are doing in that court. Because in that court you are a demigod. Yeah?
Yes.
So outside here we are going to tell you because we know we might. How about your thing is not mathematics, Mos. It's not like if you don't know, you don't know.
So he has broken the law to accommodate the state.
It's a backdoor situation. Twice. He has done it twice. Accepted the statements through the back door. They are denied. These were witnesses that were supposed to be called by the state.
By the state, if they wanted to use those statements.
So they like you can try to explain and bring. That's why he's explaining nonsensical stuff such as what he was explaining.
Totally out of pocket. It has nothing to do with the objection that was raised.
Because he's got nothing to hold on to. Nothing. He's got nothing to hold on to. That's why he didn't even allow me to submit. Because he knows he's going to be found wandering.
Wow.
The trial by ambush. That's exactly what is happening. Because, I mean...
He can't even hide it. What a shame.
So, do not be confused when we are called nobodies. I agree we are capable of doing our own research. I bet these things, it's not like they are hidden. They are here. If you can read.
They just need time.
Yeah. If you can read. If you can read, you can rest it.
And to understand. And then you are able to get it.
So if you think when you know alone, we have friends around who are lawyers who also read the very same law that you read. So clearly you've got a different thing to coming. I mean, you must explain really. You must explain proper stuff. Because your answer, the state has a right to cross-examine on what? Viva voce? Is that statement part of viva voce? No.
It's not.
They are introducing new stuff that was not
a part of his testimony and his evidence that he presented in court.
Exactly.
And as laymen, we were told or advised that your oral testimony in court, the fact that you made it in court to come and tell your story, is above any other thing that anybody else might say about you. So now, when I also listened to that statement, it was so full of hearsay. And I'm like, so you risked it all for this.
And then he says, I haven't accepted it. But you are defending it.
But it's on the record.
You are defending it. You have placed it on the record and you are defending it. Yeah, even saying people must take you to the appeal.
To appeal.
What? Because you are Mlambo's friend, you always make Mlambo's jokes.
Imagine, I'll take me to
Even
appeal.
with that Mlambo issue,
Even
we will
mentioning
tell
that,
you that Zungula has a different view when it comes to Mlambo. So don't make Mlambo a demigod.
and even saying I mentored Mandisa. Remember how we
don't care about that.
Questioning that, why would you say something like that? She's the Chief Justice at the end of the day.
Who's supposed to take some
holding a
decisions.
position that's above
Yes.
you as the magistrate of the High Court.
Now,
way above. So whether you mention her or not,
are you
is
saying that
irrelevant.
they cannot differ with you?
That's what he was implying.
Is that what you are implying?
That's why he keeps bringing up these appeals situation. If
That's why you
don't
can
want,
go to
take me
court
to
and
appeal,
take me to appeal. I've never even had a person of no color saying that in court.
They would rather keep quiet.
They keep quiet and listen.
Even if they know they're going to produce an effed up judgment, but they keep quiet. They don't give themselves away like this. This is embarrassing.
So I don't understand why would the whole judge keep on referring, hey, don't take me. We are slaza, man.
We are slaza, man. No. We are slaza. And he keeps saying, hey, people of color this, people of color that.
Useless.
What about you?
Starts with you.
What about you?
Starts with you. That's why you are always looking at the leadership that is black and undermining it.
How? What about you? What are you doing?
Because of such behavior.
You are also in a leadership position. What are you doing?
What you are doing there, even a high school kid cannot do it. You can't listen for a second, interjecting. People want to speak, they want to submit, look down on people, and you want us to respect you.
Oh, respect is earned. It's a privilege. It is earned by the actions that you do. Your actions are not worthy of respect in that courtroom. I'm sorry, but it is the truth. You are not acting in a manner that is honorable, especially for the fact that you are the presiding officer over that case. You are acting like an immature, emotional wreck. You are entering the arena. You are fighting on behalf of the state. And someone also mentioned that, Sibanda is chilling as the judge is fighting.
Obvious. What more to do if you are the person you are submitting to is fighting your battles?
And I'm like, that is marinating in me. He's chilling. A judge is fighting for him. How nice. Yeah. And then he continued to say that in the other case, you don't even have to read it because it says it was assessing evidence in the case Sinyani Solomon Mamushe versus the state, which means probably this case has nothing to do with what is in my opinion. He said there is a case by John Rand, in my view. Those are one of the brilliant judges in South Africa, Van Heerden and Theron, and it is a judgment of the 8th of May. No year was mentioned. So this matter is about cross-examination. You can't just stop the state from cross-examining. There's no law that says, please show me that law and you'll find it. Which law says this gentleman here can't cross-examine your client? And this gentleman is the client of accused number 1. He's not the client of a witness of the state. You know what? Ubalo Inosibanda must just make space for the judge where they are sitting.
Yeah.
They must just sit with him there.
He can duplicate himself.
Finish. What is the point? They must just sit. He must just move over there where he's sitting and just join them there. Well, and the fact that he couldn't even speak properly, in my layman view, it sounded like gibberish. And at some point, he was even calling Makhosonke Nisi's client or the client of accused number 1. And I'm like, what the heck is going on?
I don't know whether the guy was like honestly speaking, it doesn't sound like a person who's sober there.
Hey.
I mean. And even when he's corrected, he fights.
He fights. He's fighting.
Even when you are corrected about something emotions that you see is in front of you, you try to argue otherwise.
Well, he said that he's a witness of accused number one, and you're taking him through the ropes of evidence that you wanted him to adduce in favor of accused number one.
Does that
is all
justify
is
you
about.
calling him as a client?
It's supposed to.
Does it justify that you just called a witness his client? Is that what you see when you're seeing the witnesses that are coming to defense? You see clients.
Yeah, he sees clients
That's why you
of
are
the
defending.
defense. That already is telling in his biasness. Is very much telling. Well, he said that governor is not applicable, and if you think I'm wrong, you can take me on appeal. Okay.
This time
so
around, you got your
order.
answer. This time you got your answer, and you never followed up. He tried to brush that thing off of saying, yeah, definitely we're taking you to appeal.
Yeah, this time he got an answer.
Because he's been thinking that they are afraid of doing that.
And they've got two situations to support when they argue for this in the appeal. It's Gwabindi's statement. And even the confessions themselves in a way, because he didn't make a decision. He didn't make a ruling. He said pending what is happening or what happens in the trial.
He's busy
So
telling
he
us
left them
if he dies.
hanging, which is, I don't think it's fair. So, and he said that this court has to determine that there was a statement or not. And I don't want to prejudice anything. Or I don't want to prejudge anything. My apologies. I don't want to prejudge anything because your own client says that he signed a statement which he never read. Please,
he did not say he signed a statement. He said he signed
a paper that he was given to sign. You know, he was really upset and jumpy, and he really wanted Advocate Mnisi to let this go, in my opinion. Well, Mnisi said, as I've said to him when he started to testify, this is a witness. It's not my client. My client is seated over there. Well, the judge said, he's your client's witness. And Mnisi said, yes, but he's not my client. And then the judge, oh, so Mr. Muzi is not your client. He is here to testify as Muzi's witness. That's a practical thing. You know, he has managed to twist this whole situation and accuse Mnisi of stopping the state from cross-examining because he does not want the state to prove the statement. And also, I feel like something tells me that the conditions of these cases that he kept quoting are not the same. It's just that we have to read up on it and find out for ourselves. We can no longer take his word, you know. Just because he's saying it, it does not mean it's necessarily true. And then Mnisi said that when the court says I can take them up on appeal, I will definitely do that. And the judge said, are you saying that the doctor should cross-examine or shouldn't cross-examine? Well, Mnisi said, I never said that. And the judge said, what are you saying? And Mnisi said, I'm saying he really didn't want to give Mnisi an opportunity to speak. He spoke over him. He said, when you say he starts asking questions, he's exercising his rights to cross-examine. What is he doing? You know? And then Mnisi said, but it's fine. The court has made a ruling. I will abide by the ruling and I will definitely raise this argument upon appeal. And the judge said, yes, no problem. Good luck. And Mshololo said, I know there has been a ruling already, my lord, that the state is allowed to cross-examine a witness. We are in agreement that the state is allowed to cross-examine and is entitled, but the issue in dispute right now is whether the state can cross-examine the witness on the statement that is disputed by the witness. It's not that the state cannot ask the question. The issue is not the statement that is being disputed by the witness. That's why the objection arose. And we really have to say thank you to Mshololo for this one, because she managed to highlight this. Because, you know, he has a way of defending himself, and it was probably going to be...
And putting something else on the record.
Yes. So,
as if that's what the defense was all about, or that's what the objection was all about.
Yes.
Changing the objection. Funny things are happening in that court.
So this helped in making it clear on the record that he is aware of what he's doing. So I appreciate Mshololo for doing that. so that they ask him 3 times, so that in the future, if he claims that he was not well on the day, he had it being put to him or reminded about it more than once. So that there's not much room for him to wiggle and say, no, but I didn't understand. No,
I misheard you.
Yes.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's very important because you see, he just doesn't allow these statements to come through backdoor without his language. When on the record, he answers something totally different.
He
And
misinterprets.
I don't think that's a mistake, in my opinion.
No, it's not.
That is something that is done on purpose.
Yes, he is aware of what
the
he's
objection yesterday that was repeated, even today, he asked it to be repeated, was that this cannot be done without the statement being proved.
Yes.
And also, this statement was not used to cross-examine. And then he comes and says, you cannot deny the state
An opportunity to
cross-examine.
Which is totally different and twisting
Really?
the objection.
Where is the objection saying that they are denying the states to cross-examine?
Yeah, ne? Well, the judge said yes, the state can cross-examine. The evidence is given, and this witness has raised some points that the state can canvass, and the evidence of this witness has not yet been admitted
Viva
by this
voce.
court.
That's what they needed to focus on.
He didn't give them a chance to argue.
Viva voce. Someone was asking what is viva voce means. Viva is living. Voce is a voice. Basically, what is that meaning is that it's an oral evidence that is given by the witness in court.
Which is more important.
Which is more important. It weighs more than what could have been said behind the...
by some scriptwriter somewhere.
Isaiah, thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you, Isaiah. Thank you. And then the judge said it's not yet admitted. So he testifies under cross-examination. And then after that, another witness is called or whatever. And the judgment I will give will be at the end of this case, because these gentlemen are charged under common purpose. I'm not going to give a judgment. I'm making a ruling. Yeah. Mshololo said that she was stating what she was stating so that the ruling is clear that the state is allowed to cross-examine on the contents of that statement. Well, the judge said, I listened. Some guys, some know-nothings who think that they know something. Why don't this judge have a trial within a trial? The state has closed its case. Unless the state makes an application to reopen its case, then that's different. But once the state has closed its case, what the state was putting across here is res judicata. That's why now it's the turn of the defense to lay down its case. Well,
apparently
that's
defense,
not true.
Is the defense laying down the thing?
No.
Oh, apparently it's not true. What is
It's not true what he's saying. I'm a layman, and I can't call myself a know-nothing because I know a lot.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
But as a layman, that's not true. I don't understand why he put such a false statement in court as a judge, as a presiding officer. I don't know. It doesn't make no sense. Why would you lie blatantly like that with a straight face? That's not true. It is not. Well, he said that something further interesting. He said that he does not decide after the witness has answered whatever the doctor will be asking him. All he has to rule on is just a tiny thing, whether it's admissible or not. And if he finds that it's inadmissible, he won't even make a ruling. And he said, why is it's admissible? That will come at the end of the case, which means, in my opinion, point of view, he plans on using this technique throughout this trial, and then at the end of the trial produce that guilty verdict, and then use these statements to support whatever he will be putting in the judgment to say that these people are guilty.
That's exactly the aim.
Yeah. So the judge also gave a case of State versus Fordway. He said the case will tell Mshololo how the court handled making interim rules relating to disputed evidence. He said, look here, the evidence is disputed. So he has already taken that document as evidence. You know, Makhosonke's oral testimony to him, it's not important. What's important is that statement from what he's giving us and how he's behaving. So the judge then said, when you say, oh no, there's a dispute about the statement, there's a dispute about the evidence pertaining to the admissibility of the statement. And then he was reading from a case. It says, and I quote, the hearsay ruling was of course interlocutory in nature and subject to reconsideration if circumstances so warrant at the close of the defense's case. And the close of the defense closed its case. So this statement all on its own is just off. It's not applying to the situation. Well, the judge also said, you see here, it never happened. Counsel asked for a reconsideration of the ruling as well as the ruling of the admissibility of evidence. He also said, so you can read these cases about what I'm saying. Go to State versus Malzoni, State versus Di Epile, State versus Stein, State versus Zondi. And he said that every piece of evidence in this court is examined under a microscope by the sitting judge. He said he has not even started writing the judgment. He had a slip of the tongue there, and he said you can't stop the defense from cross-examining. It's a constitutional right. Which means that when he was reading all of these many cases, he probably conflated issues. The arguments perhaps in those cases is the defense. You understand? It's the defense arguing for that. And now he's making it seem like it was a situation where the state was the one fighting to cross-examine a defense witness on the statement that they have taken, which I doubt. But with further reading, one can find out. Well, the judge said a statement is evidence. Well, Sibanda was allowed to cross-examine, but before he said that he was going to place the statement twice on record. First, he's just going to read it so that it's clear on the record, and then he's going to go through it sentence by sentence, paragraph by paragraph, and ask Makhosonke for a response. So he placed it on record after reading it entirely. But I was interested in the cross-examination because unlike some other people, I'm interested in what the witness has to say. So my focus, I just wanted to hear Makhosonke's responses to him being cross-examined. I did not write that statement, and I'm not going to read it flat out in J. I wanted to include the cross-examination part. So the statement is, in my opinion, Mr. Anonymous, I don't know, but I just heard a lot of hearsay there.
It has a lot of hearsays of
character, also assassination of the accused. And also I could read that it was perhaps designed to support Constable Zungu's statement.
Yes. So meaning it was done after.
Yeah, I really believe it was done after Zungu testified.
Boy Dumelo Tsodesi, thank you for membership joining.
Thank you, Bitumelo. And I believe that it was done after Constable Zungu testified. That's my opinion. Or after he wrote his, remember he wrote his statement in 2023. Let us not forget that while the trial was ongoing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was written in Yeoville as well, which is very interesting. Because Makhosonke said nothing about going to Yeoville or being taken to Yeoville.
Yes.
So Sibanda asked him to confirm the names on the statement, and he said Makhosonke, Andries Zungu, and the ID number. He also confirmed that it's his. And Sibanda said, did you give this information to Brigadier Gininda? Makhosonke said that's correct. And Sibanda said, did I follow the interview that you had? That if I follow the interview that you had with Brigadier Gininda? And this question did not make sense to me. It was very vague. But
All the
Makhosonke-
questions were vague. Most of them, actually, at least.
Yeah, prosecutor with a doctorate. Eish. Well, Sibanda read the first paragraph. He said, I'm an adult, male born 1981-08 with no date. He didn't read the date. He said, I'm residing at the Tlaba village, River Cross Beggars Fort. And then he stared at Makhosonke for a moment there. And then he asked him, do you confirm this information? Well, Makhosonke said yes. Sibanda said, are you the author of this information? Makhosonke said yes. Then he confirmed the cell phone number. And he asked him if he gave that information to Brigadier Gidinda. Makhosonke said yes. And Sibanda said, I'm currently employed by Marula Platinum. He was reading from the statement. I'm currently employed by Marula Platinum Beggars Fort as a minor. And Makhosonke confirmed that he did give that information to Brigadier Gininda. Then he read the second paragraph. It said, I would like to state that I'm a cousin to Sfiso Gwabini, who stays at Basutuni Hostel, Vosloorus. And he is not a cousin. That was Makhosonke's response to the statement. He said he's not his cousin, but rather his brother. Now, Sibanda said to him that when somebody in English, they say that they are your cousin, it can also include your brother because you are not born of the same mother. Is that not so? And Makhosonke said, oh, I hear you. And then Sibanda said, do you accept that he's your cousin? And Makhosonke said, but customarily it's not like that. My cousin is my aunt or uncle's child. And then Sibanda said, but do you confirm that Gwabini is not your sibling? And Makhosonke said yes. Then Sibanda said, did you give the information to Brigadier Gininda? Makhosonke said yes. And did you also inform Brigadier Gininda that Gwabini stays at Basutung Hostel? And Makhosonke said yes. Makhosonke also confirmed that Gwabini stays at Basutung Hostel. He also confirmed that he knows where Basutung Hostel is, and he said that it's at Vosloorus. He had been there, and the year that he can recall that he was there is 2017. And Sibanda said, I'm also a nephew. He continued to read. Let's read the statement. He said, I'm also a nephew to Sizwe Zungu, who is a police officer in Tembisa. And is that what you said to Brigadier Gininda? Makhosonke said, he said, Babu Mngani, my father's younger brother. Right? He said, I am a son to him. But if you interpret it the way that you interpret it, and then Sibanda said, so that is how you explain it to Brigadier Gininda. Makhosonke said, I said Sizwe is my Babu Mngani. And then Sibanda said, you also confirm that he is a police officer? And Makhosonke said yes. And Sibanda said, did you also give that piece of evidence to Brigadier Gininda? And Makhosonke said, that I said. Sibanda now read the third paragraph, and it said, I quote, somewhere after September 2014, I visited my uncle, in brackets Sizwe Zungu, in Vosloorus. So he visited him in Vosloorus. Wait a minute. He visited Constable Zungu in Vosloorus. Did you hear that part?
I wouldn't be surprised.
That must be a mistake.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Because even Zungu did not testify that he was at Vosloorus. And that's where he met with, or that he gave some idea that he ever lived at Vosloorus. Something is off here. Well, Makhosonke said he doesn't know that because Babu Mngani does not stay in Vosloorus. He stays in Tembisa, and I've never visited him in 2014. That was a glitch.
Because the cooking was not cooking well. All these statements, they were written by one person, I'm telling you.
Yes, they sound like they were written by one person.
All these statements, one person. And that person's
they
brain
have the same
is not that much brilliant.
The accused are referred to with the names that are similar. How can Makhosonke, Gwabini, accused number 1 and accused number 2 refer to accused number 3 as Carlos? All of them. How?
It's just crazy. And I told you about the fight yesterday. I told you that this is probably something that they knew beforehand, that there was a fight of some sort.
You did state, and now Makhosonke was actually sharing that they were talking about it after they kidnapped him.
Exactly.
So Sibanda then said, at this stage I was employed by P2 Mining in Rustenburg. Makhosonke confirmed that he worked for P2 Mining in Rustenburg in 2014 and that he did give this information to Brigadier Gininda. Sibanda then said, I arranged, or continued to read, and I quote, I arranged to meet him in Johannesburg after we proceeded to Vosloorus to visit my cousin Sfiso Zungu. And then Makhosonke said, I would like to inquire which year are we referring to here. And Sibanda said, we are reading the statements. And Makhosonke said, there's nothing that I arranged with Sizwe Zungu. And then Sibanda said, did you meet with Sizwe Zungu in Johannesburg? And Makhosonke said, I met with Sizwe Zungu in 2017 and we never arranged anything. And Sibanda said, so it just happened by mere coincidence that you are both in and around Carlton Center in Johannesburg. So this reminds me of yesterday when he was just trying to hammer on this. He knew that it's in that statement of theirs. And then Makhosonke said, yes, in 2017 it happened like that. Then Sibanda said, do you agree with me? The manner in which you met Sizwe Zungu in your version in 2017, it is exactly how you met him in 2014 as well.
Crazy, stupid
question. I don't like saying that people ask stupid questions, but come on, what is this now? Hi. From a doctor, from a PhD holder of law.
Desperation.
High corner. And then Makhosonke said, I don't know that. I met him in 2014. And then Sibanda said, I'm putting it to you that you did meet Zungu in 2014. And it's exactly how you say you met him in 2017. How is that even possible, Sibanda? When you sat down and drafted this question, how is this possible that you are saying you are putting it to him? Is one thing to ask, but to put, when you put, I don't think he understands a fact as well. When you are putting something on a witness, you are putting it because there's something supporting your claim. You don't put it because you feel like they are lying. You understand? There has to be some other evidence that contradicts to what the witness is saying.
Exactly.
So I don't understand if he understands what a fact is.
He's using what Sizwe said and then what is now the witness saying. So he's saying, but to assume that what Sizwe said is correct, a fact is wrong.
Is
another flaw.
Well, Sibanda said, I'm putting it to you that you did meet Sizwe Zungu in 2014, and it's exactly how you say you met him in 2017. Well, Makhosonke said, I'm saying it just like I'm saying it. In this statement, the statement says Sizwe Zungu arranged. I've never arranged with Sizwe Zungu. What I'm asking for my brother here is that, Mr. Sibanda, it must not seem like the one who is at the top is oppressing the one at the bottom. Maybe I must fight for my life from you. Oh my God, because I have stated that in 2014, I was never at Vosloorus. Sibanda said, you need to come down, Mr. Zungu. I'm like, look who's talking.
He thought he got him.
He was Batista the other day. Look who's talking, telling another person to come down. Well, Makhosonke said, no, it's your questions. And then Sibanda said, it won't help you to point me with fingers and raise your voice. I'm not raising your voice, my voice, and I expect you to do the same. And Makhosonke said, no, what do you mean when you say I met with Sizwe Zungu in 2014? You're putting it to me when it never happened. And then, if he had proof and evidence that it did happen, it's okay. I'm putting it to you that you are lying. You were at what. And he doesn't have that. The state does not have that.
Obvious, it doesn't.
Well, Sibanda said, I'm putting it to you. It's evidence before this court. And Makhosonke said, that's Sizwe's evidence, not mine. I told you not to ask me about what I don't know. About what I do know now. Makhosonke just went back wild. He started talking so fast, and he was very, very frustrated with Sibanda at this point. And he said that it is written here by me, not this fishy that is written here. Meaning, what is in fishy?
Nonsense.
It's nonsense.
Garbage.
That is written here that I did not write. And you can see that even at the end, it is telling you at the back that it was written in Yeoville. It means that this person came from wherever he came from and made me sign this thing. Because even in this paper, there's no truth. How does the issues of Kaz, is it Kaza? Because it is what they were discussing at the table at the boardroom. They were the ones who were saying
Mohula used to work in Yeoville.
Hallelujah.
Allegedly.
Hallelujah. Siyabonga for that piece of information. It was Yende who said that it was Muzi who was talking about Muzi shooting. Where was I? They said it's me. They gave me a role that I was paying at a home. I was not even there, And in my opinion, point of view, it seems this person who wrote this statement might have also been the person who wrote Sizwe's statement. This is my point of view. There was this maybe thing of wanting to support Sizwe's evidence, because when you look at it now, as Constable Zungu's statement doesn't have support. It doesn't.
No. And except it has supporters such as,
it's only the police who are supporting this.
What worries me is our argument and our defense is clear. It is that we are not saying these people are not criminals, some of them, but they are serving.
The sentences.
They are sentences.
Yes, they are.
This case, only a fool sees this case otherwise. This is when they say it's man-made situation, people who were hungry for power, who could maybe see themselves as DPPs and whatnot, clearly, when you read through these statements, you can tell clearly that
people were very ambitious.
No, stupid things, man. Stupid things. You can have 3, 4, 5 confession statements and everything, making the same mistake of calling accused number 3 Kabutelis.
We are late.
And you claim they know them.
But that would be very suspicious.
So I'm saying this because I'm watching here. Christopher is coming with the balanced view, as they say. He's balancing the situation, saying that we are also assuming that whatever Makhosonke is saying is correct. Dr. Sibanda is correct in putting it to him that gathering at the hostel.
You cannot
what is supporting that statement?
You must support it, yes.
There are about now how many witnesses? Moses' father. I mean Zungu's father.
Absolutely. Double Zungu's father.
Is lying. Mdala lo qamba man.
Kwabini
qamba man. Makhosonke qamba man. Makhosonke qamba man. Uzungu nje correct.
Zungu
the younger one,
right.
Who's a police, who watched crime happening in front of him and did not do anything.
The worst thing is that he did not even see what happened at the house.
You listen to this so-called statement that were written by these people. The way Makhosonke is narrating in the statement, it's like also he was not there.
Yes.
Because at some point between, just take your time, Christopher. Take your time and listen to. He's narrating
what he was told.
Accused number 5's car as a car that he did not see.
Yes, he was told.
He was
by
told
Zungu
that the car
it is grey.
is grey.
It is silver.
Silver.
Sorry, my apologies. He was told by Zungu that it is silver.
Do you understand?
I get him again, Makhosonke,
So what are we supposed to do with
that
that?
statement is so poor. Like, it's a poor statement.
What
No
are we
wonder why
supposed
they
to do
didn't
with
call
that?
him as a witness. It is poor. It doesn't have anything of substance.
And you telling
With
me that
regards to what happened at Kutwanong Street at the Spaza house.
and then you are telling me that these things happen.
Hey, be careful how you approach the situation. Cause who knows? People may dislike you and come together and write statements, and next thing you know, you're sitting in jail.
And then now we are supposed to believe, oh yeah, it happened. Honestly, it did happen. Such thing.
All it takes is for one person
You
not like you.
You are questioning. You are saying this guy was there. You want him to admit that he was there. But in the very statement that you wrote, he's talking as if he was not there. He heard that the car, the grey car, he had
belonged to Nkani.
But he was there.
But he was there.
He was there. But he heard that the car, there was a grey car. He heard that there was a grey car that belonged to he had. But you are saying he was there 2014. Now, from what I'm hearing, he is saying, I did not know Ngani, accused number 5, up until that day. He heard that he was driving. If you compare those statements, who's telling the truth?
It's definitely the current witness.
The person who's denying the statement that says,
I will believe
I heard.
the current witness over Constable Zungu any day. Constable Zungu's story is a lot of hogwash.
Come on, man, guys.
He's not even a witness.
You know, we try
he
to...
has proclaimed and put himself in a position of being the main state witness. He's even getting witness protection and all of that. But he did not see who shot Senzo. How crazy is that?
He saw guns being exchanged. As a policeman, he did nothing, absolutely nothing. It's like the story of Longwetwala pushing these so-called dangerous people that you guys look at, Buena, Christopher, that you say they are dangerous, these people. Yes, they are dangerous. How could they have allowed Longwetwala to push them like that?
He pushed 2 of them.
And went past through others who were outside.
And others who were
dangerous as they are.
Yes, Longwetwala passed through all of them. Like
you know,
a ghost.
Come on, man. Come on, guys.
Well, Sibanda wanted an interpretation of what Makhosonke was saying, and Jonas said he could not interpret it. Makhosonke then took it step by step now with Ubab Jonas. Mr. Jonas, let me explain to you. What happened is that they said to me that I, myself, Gwabini and Gwabini's father and Gwabini's father went to Gaza to pay for Muzi, and I told them that I didn't even pay a single role in the issue of Sibia and the Ndwandwe family. I don't know that. And hence I'm saying to you that this statement, I don't know what it is that you want me to answer on the statement because I don't know the statement. Sibanda told him that he needed to calm down. He's going through the statement paragraph by paragraph, line by line. And Makhosonke said, but what I'm asking is that he should not force words in my mouth. Sibanda said, I'm not forcing words to you. It is cross-examination. I must ask you questions. And Makhosonke said, is it a question that you are putting it to me? Hey, you put facts, Sibanda. Cross-examination 101. I think you need to revisit such a textbook if it exists. Then Sibanda said, but that's how it happens in court. Unfortunately, Mr. Zungu. And Makhosonke said, hence I'm saying the one at the top is oppressing the one below, because even the statement is showing that I was the one being oppressed with things that I don't know. And Sibanda said, there is no one who is suppressing you. Let's proceed. Sibanda really was thrown off guard by Makhosonke's reaction, in my opinion. I think they took Makhosonke to be a walkover. But what do you think about that?
They probably did.
Yeah, they saw his meekness and his respectful tone and his calm demeanor, and the fact that he didn't make as much noise probably as Gwabini after they kidnapped him. And they are like, okay, this one we have a chance. We have a shot with this one. He's not as dramatic as Gwabini. Understand? So he was really thrown off guard with Sibanda. He was thrown off guard. You could see it in his body language that he didn't expect Makhosonke to defend himself like that. And after the short adjournment, Sibanda then said to Mr. Zungu, let's start by housekeeping rules. We are in a court of law here. You know, the judge's body language here, it was so weird in my opinion. It's like maybe they talked to Sibanda. I'm not going to say that they did. I'm just speculating, because it seems like he got advice to put rules to Makhosonke. I was like, okay. There's nothing wrong with that if that happened, but it's just that the body language there, sometimes it throws me off. He said, we are in a court of law here. When I put a supposition to you, I invite you to comment, not to act in a disruptive manner. Do you understand? And Makhosonke said, I would like to apologize, my lord. And Sibanda said, thank you. And I heard the judge there saying, And then Sibanda said, we are still drawing a comparison between your evidence and Constable Zungu's evidence. According to Constable Zungu, you met him in Carlton Center in the year 2014, and Makhosonke said, as Makhosonke never met him in 2014. And Sibanda said, you had food together. Makhosonke said, I was not there in 2014. You traveled together to Vosloorus. No, in Vosloorus. You traveled together in Vosloorus. And Makhosonke said, not me. You were hosted in Gwabini's place. Makhosonke said, no. You ate and drank alcohol. You ate meat. And Makhosonke said, no, not in 2014. I was never with Constable Zungu or Gwabini in 2014. Then Sibanda said, and then you met accused number 1. And Makhosonke said, that never happened with me in 2014. And then Sibanda said, so what differs from your evidence and his evidence? Is it only the year and the date? And Makhosonke said, as well as the facts that we arranged. I don't know about that. And then Sibanda said, on the issue of arrangement, Constable Zungu testified before this court that he was given your contact details by Gwabini. And Makhosonke said he knew nothing about that. Then Sibanda put it again. I'm putting it to you that is a fact. And Makhosonke said, no, he doesn't know about that. Does Sibanda understand what a fact is? Does he understand?
No. Doesn't look like that.
Because that's Zungu's testimony. Zungu's testimony cannot be a fact. You placing Zungu at the place where he says he was, and then coming back and say Zungu said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we have this as proof to support what he's saying. It is a fact. I put it to you that. Yeah, something like that. That's a fact. But when you just gonna take someone else's testimony and then say it's a fact, I don't know about that. Well,
AVL could have solved this thing.
It could have. The AVL of the white sedan he was driving. It could have solved all of this. You would now be having facts if really Constable Zungu was there. Well, then Sibanda said, because in your own version, you never exchanged your contact details in 2015 or at any stage with Constable Zungu. And Makhosonke said, that's correct. Sibanda said, I further put it to you that the common contact between Gwabini, Constable Zungu, Makhosonke, Zungu is Gwabini.
I'm fine. Ngiyangibona ngathi ngcono ushaye mhlambe grand. Christopher lapha uthi ulongo is not clean. The state did mention that he is connected to the accused somehow via the money picture. We are these Mara Green like okay, so mind you, Mina, if I could have a picture that you have in your phone. Are we connected?
If we have the same picture.
Are we connected? Yeah?
In our phones.
Are we? Is that connection? I'm afraid I got it. Ninguém there's a show each judge you are nobodies and you are also thinking like nobodies also. Aye man. The fact that it's ngena Google sonke we sometimes have pictures that are on Google. Now we are connected.
Yeah, that's basically what is being implied.
Ayiwo kahle dofethu kahle ijaji libiza ngo nobody nani ngicabanga soka nobody ngempela hayi hayi kabi kodwa nje ezinye izinto nawe ebuka manje before uzisho hayi this does not hayi.
So what you're saying, Christopher, is that if there's a picture that I downloaded from the internet with
and it's a picture that is downloaded from the internet, that one, by the way.
And then you also happen
it's
to have downloaded the
it.
same picture.
Yes.
So because of that, it means you
are connected.
We are connected.
Yeah.
That's literally what you're saying.
Yes.
And I don't know.
Picture connection.
So the interpreter then, before the interpreter said anything, Sibanda actually asked Makhosonke, is Gwabini not common between you and Constable Zungu? This is a vague question, because even the interpreter was found wondering, and then he asked, Agekho okuhlanganisayo phakathi kwakho no Gwabeni no Constable Zungu, and Makhosonke was puzzled ukuthi usihlanganisa kanjani.
Yeah, family most.
And then Sibanda now started shouting and said, he's common, you both know him. And Makhosonke was like, yes, we both know him, but I never met him in 2014. I never met both of them actually in 2014. And then Sibanda said, you see, Mr. Makhosonke Zungu, your narration regarding what I've just put to you, the meeting with Constable Zungu in 2017 and the exchange of the contact of details, is just that it doesn't make sense. It's nonsense. Calling a witness's testimony nonsense. A PhD of law holder. I told y'all he lacks emotional intelligence. It's rough. Then Mshololo objected and said the word nonsense is an insult to a witness. After the state counsel has asked the witness to be respectful in this court, he's insulting the witness in an open court. That is not allowed. It's unacceptable. And the judge said, they say it's not allowed. And then Sibanda said the word nonsense. Hogwash was first introduced by Advocate Nisi to this court. This is exactly how a child or a person who lacks emotional intelligence acts. When they have to take accountability for what they said, they want to now compare themselves to what other people have done before. Just because other people have done it, though it may be wrong, according to Sibanda, because somebody does something wrong, it means he can also do it. PhD holder of law. Then he said there was no objection from Advocate Mshololo when Advocate Nisi did this. Well, Ngumalo said that I agree. My colleague is not being cautious. We have never heard of this word for a period of 3 years. It's for the first time. And it's so intimidating to the witness. Please. Ramasipil also got up and said, my lord, we are officers of the court. We cannot descend to the level, no lawyers, especially in a court setting. In other words, he was telling Sibanda that he's acting like a lame person. Like he doesn't know the law. To say nonsense to a witness testifying in court, he said, I submit that's very disrespectful to the witness. The judge could not even look Sibanda in the eye. Okay, he was addressing him, but he was looking down for some weird reason. He was saying, yeah, you see, I don't know. I think they are correct, your colleagues. But you see, an Englishman comes here and says it's nonsense. So nonsense has been translated to no sense right before our eyes. He said there is not an insult there. It's the language, but because we are African, we adulterate the language of English. We say there's something called nonsense. That is a phrase, so don't use African English, okay? So according to the judge, nonsense is an African term. It's disrespectful. It's a word that has been adulterized by Africans to mean something that it doesn't mean. But nonsense to him means no sense. So Sibanda then said, my lord, I'm ready to apologize to the witness, but I want to put this across to my colleague. And I have a record of those proceedings of the 2nd of October 2023, where the witness before court was Constable Zungu. He quoted Wemnisi said he was instructed by his client to tell Sizwe Zungu that his version is hogwash. Did you even process that when you were planning on using it to defend your disrespectfulness towards the witness? He was saying he got instructions from his client. Well, now you didn't get instructions from anyone. You just went on and called a witness what they were saying nonsense. You didn't receive instructions from anybody. You just did it at your own accord. Well, the judge asked that they continue. He really wanted this to be over. This is embarrassing. I hold him to a high regard because he has a PhD in law. And I'm not going to be easy on him. I'm not. Mshololo said, even if it had been said by the other colleagues, well, the judge said, we must not speak as if I have not been sworn at. I have been sworn at in this court. So he's being a victim now. He's playing victim
syndrome.
Just because he doesn't want to tell Sibanda to withdraw that statement. Mr. Sibanda, please remember Rob versus Hepworth. You cannot treat the witness. The witness is here to assist the court. No, Sibanda is not getting any of that speeches.
Press the like button, guys. Please press the like button.
Well, Sibanda said, I'm saying that whatever you are saying regarding your visit to Basotho Hostel in 2017, it does not make sense. Look at how he took the scope that the judge gave him to diffuse what he had just done. And then my Makhosonke responded and said, I'm speaking what I know, what happened to me, not what happened to anyone else. And as I'm saying, the statement that it is said I wrote, it's not what I said, but you are busy asking me about it. What you are saying is nonsense, so I don't know what you want me to say. And then Sibanda said, what is contained in that statement is not nonsense. What is nonsense is what you said in the court orally. So he repeated this thing of his. So the judge failed to do his job. He ignored him. So he continued to insult the witness, and there was no accountability. He proceeded to read the statement, and he read where it said, I do recall that there was Muzisibia present in the hostel when we arrived. As I'm saying, with regards to 2014, I know nothing, is what Makhosonke responded. I've never been to Basotho Hostel in 2014. Sibanda asked him, did you tell Brigadier Gininda about this fact? And Makhosonke said, what made me not to put the exact date is because I told him that I don't remember what year it was. That is why I sat down and had to think back and jog my memory. And then I came to place the facts here in court. And then even when with Advocate Baloyi, that is what I was trying to explain to him, which is what led to me not being called as a witness. So Sibanda said, if I understand you very well, when the statement was taken, you were not sure of the dates. Hence, the statement was reduced in writing in this fashion. And Makhosonke said, no, written like this, how? Because the date says 2014. I never gave a date of 2014 myself. The only 2014 I talked about was when I started working at P2 Mining. And they asked him, Sibanda asked him, where were you working in 2017? And Makhosonke said he was still under P2 Mining. And Sibanda said, if I recall correctly, I may have arrived in the hostel. He was reading the statement. I may have arrived in the hostel around Friday afternoon and stayed there for the weekend. And Makhosonke said he only spent 1 day at the hostel. He arrived on a Saturday and left on a Sunday. And it was in 2017 and not 2014. So Sibanda then said, is this what you told Brigadier Kinindi in essence? And Makhosonke said, I said to him that I can't remember exactly when it was. It was a weekend, and I was never specific about which day it was. And Sibanda said, but do you recall mentioning something about a weekend when you were interviewed by Brigadier Gininda? And Makhosonke said, yes, that it was a weekend, I do recall. Sibanda then continued to read the statement. I further want to state that Nkani Ntuli was friends with Muzi Sibia, as they are also relatives. Makhosonke said, I don't know, because the Nkani he's talking about, I don't know him. I only saw him for the first time in court on Monday. And the name of Nkani, I first got to hear about it from Constable Zungu. And Sibanda said, you've never seen him on TV or any other social media. And Makhosonke said, these days I'm not even that much into TV. And Sibanda then said, social media. And Makhosonke said, yes, it happens sometimes that I come across this case. And then Sibanda said, and the fact that Muzi Sibia and accused number 5 are relatives. Makhosonke said, I didn't know that. And Sibanda said, did you inform Brigadier Gininda of this fact? And Makhosonke said, no, I never said that. He continued to read, Mafika Ntanzi also became friends to Muzi and Nkani. Now, Makhosonke said all of that he doesn't know. Then he continued reading Sibanda. On our arrival at Fosloras, I spent time with my homeboys at Basutung Hostel. I was drinking, enjoying myself. Homeboys is also in Zungu's statement, Constable Zungu's statement, is it not?
Yeah.
Homeboys.
Homeboys.
Gininda's
language.
They talk the same. Homeboys. Makhosonke.
Calling your siblings homeboy.
Ati homeboys. Ubiza abantwana bagubo.
Homeboys.
Homeboys. Yes. And then Makhosonke said, I never made reference or referred to homeboys. I said I was with Muzi, Sizwe, Zungu, Gwabini, and Tovi. Then Sibanda said, but generally, can you not refer to that collective as homeboys? And Makhosonke said, no. Tovi umtaga mama, my mother's sister's child. Born of Buthelezi, so why would I call him a homeboy? And then Sibanda said, so Tovi Buthelezi is also your relative. And Makhosonke said, not Tovi Buthelezi. Tovi is from Dwandwe, from Kwahlogolo. He's my relative because our mothers are from the Buthelezi surname. He even said it in English, just so Sibanda could get it. And then Sibanda said, Kwahlogolo, is it the same village where accused number 2 comes from? And Makhosonke said, yes. Sibanda then asked, what were you drinking? Makhosonke said 6 cans of Heineken, 6 cans of Castle Light, and a Jameson. And Sibanda then said, did you inform Brigadier Gininda that you were drinking and enjoying yourself? And Makhosonke said, I never said that. I stated the alcohol we drank on that day because he was asking me about the alcohol that we drank. Asking who bought it, I told them that I bought the alcohol. They asked me if I swiped it or bought it with cash. I said I swiped it. And also, defense must get that record, please. They must get it.
What record?
For argument.
What
Not
record?
now. The bank, the swiping. if it happened in 2017 at a liquor store at a particular time.
They probably have it now.
So this also, in my opinion, sounds like a duplicated version of Constable Zungu's statement. I mean, your homeboy's part, and it just sounds so the same. So then Sibanda said, so will Brigadier Gininda know that you sometimes drink alcohol? Makhosonke said, I think, as I have said, that I did mention that on arrival I bought alcohol
Zungu
in
would
2017.
know.
Yes, Zungu would know. And if Zungu is talking to Brigadier Gininda, of course he would know such things. Come on now. And then Sibanda said, I'm not asking about the time period. I'm asking how you'd bring Gininda, or would Brigadier Gininda have known that you drink alcohol? And Makhosonke said, because I said that I bought 6 cans of Castle Light for Zungu, and then he asked me, what are you going to drink? He's the one who actually bought me the 6 cans of Heineken. And Sibanda said, I'll move on. That still doesn't answer my question. Then Sibanda said, I then received a call. He read from the statement. It said, I then received a call from my uncle Senzo Zungu, who then informed me that there was a discussion that took place indicating that Muzisbiya Mafika Ntanzinkani, Sfiso Ntuli, and Simphiwe Buthelezi were somehow involved in the murder of Senzo Meyiwa. Notice how Sfiso Ntuli is written as Sfiso Ntuli. In Constable Zungu's statement and the confessions, I think it's that of accused number 1 or accused number 2, I don't quite remember. It's also written as Sfiso Ntuli.
Yes.
While his name is Fisoguhle Ntuli. Sfiso, there's Gwabini. Gwabini's name is Sfiso.
Exactly.
The same mistake on all statements. And he said that, was somehow involved in the murder of Senzo Meyiwa. And Makhosonke said, like I said with the statement, what made us not agree is it saying he called me and asked me that he would like to meet with me. That part that says he was involved, we were talking personally at the engine garage. What I said personally is not in the statement. Sibanda said, so you acknowledge that what has just been placed on record, it's just that it happened in person. And Makhosonke said, let's correct that. He said that he was informed at his workplace, and not that it was discussed that he was going to join the investigation team of the Senzo Meyiwa case. And Sibanda said, do you remember telling Brigadier Gininda something closer to what I've just read into the record? And Makhosonke said, hence what I'm rectifying, what is written here. We are not talking about something close. We're talking about something which was said. What is written here is not said by me. Makhosonke also said that Gwabini's name was not mentioned in the statement, yet he was told that Gwabini was amongst the people that had to be investigated. Well, Sibanda then said, he further told me, continue reading the statement, he further told me that Gwabini had some knowledge about this as well. And Makhosonke said there's nothing that he told me that Gwabini has some knowledge. He said to me he got the names of all Gwabini. He found Gwabini on the list he was given by his kennel. And then Sibanda continued to read. Sizwe asked me if I recall anything that was said by Gwabini to me regarding this murder. I said no. Makhosonke then responded and said that Sizwe never asked him. He was the one conveying all of this to him, what he was told at work. And then Sibanda said, did he convey this to you? And Makhosonke said no. Then Sibanda said he further wanted to know who was Sfiso Nkani. Constable Zungu's statement and the confessions, it really have the same mistake. Now, this Sfiso Nkani that keeps popping up, Simphiwe Buthelezi and Mafika Ntanzi. Makhosonke said that Senzo Zungu said that he wished to know who they were. So he's saying that Constable Zungu is the one who actually wanted to know who these people were. So Sibanda then said, or continued to read the statement. It said, and I quote, I told him who they were, but advised him not to get involved with these boys as they are dangerous. Then Makhosonke said that I don't know. And then Sibanda said, did you tell Brigadier Gininda? And Makhosonke said, I don't know that because I never said it. Maybe Constable Zungu knows, allegedly. Then Sibanda said, Sizwe said, yes, we will have to meet.
Awona mina kungwakithi. Uzungu. Kungwakithi.
He sold out his entire family.
Ngabe uyangigcina. Futhi ngisho singahlangana emall ngeke ngimbingelele. Uyabona nje ngisho emncwabeni wakhe. Angiye emncwabeni wakhe ngisho ngathiwa ngimfica ushawa umuntu. Ngiyadlula. Hawu.
Hayi kodlakele.
Hawu. Ngathwala phela umuntu.
Ngathwala phela ngumndeni. Think about it, he can actually do it.
Yes.
He's a piece of work. The entire family sold his entire family to the police. For what? We don't know.
Nothing, because no promotion. He's getting no promotion. Nothing.
Do you think he got money?
All these things the fathers were talking about.
Him warm.
He's not. How much? What? 100? If it most you could get. How much compare?
Yeah.
Ukhuzo makhubo lo muntu. Warrant officer makhubo. Wamkhuza die.
And then he still went ahead. There was no turning back.
This person messed up to such an extent would even umphathi wakhe ubani konje this guy who was in charge of
General Shaban.
Shaban. Nah, I throw him under the bus. Put everything that was around him, even if it was me, I'll probably be there.
He's not a good person. That's all I have to say. I would stay far away from him.
This guy messed up, yo.
Far. And I don't blame his father for also turning and running away from here. Remember the words that he was saying in court to say that should I die, I will know that my son and Gininda did that.
He was helping himself because yes.
I don't blame Ubab Absalom. How? This is beyond. It's beyond his powers as a parent. And then Sibanda said, or continue to read the statement where it said, Sizwe said, yes, we will have to meet and discuss the matter of Senzo Meyiwa at a later stage in person. I agreed. Well, Makhosonke said those are lies. Then he continued to read. He said he did not tell Brigadier Gininda about this, but to correct it, he said that at the end, he did say that they have to call Mafika, Muzi, and Gwabini, but not as it is written in that statement or what is written there. He said how it's stated they were talking over the phone, but they were talking in person at the engine garage, not over the phone. And then Sibanda continued to read. It said later around 2015, I also met Gwabini in Fosloras. It was clear to me that he was closer to Muzisbia. Makhosonke said he doesn't know about that. Makhosonke said that he met with Gwabini at the end of June. Tembisa, when he got to meet him for the first time, and Sibanda said, was that the only meeting for the year of 2015? And Makhosonke said yes. He did not, in my opinion, pay attention here. I don't know, Sibanda is playing reverse psychology or what, but I think what he had is 2017, while Sibanda put sneaking 2015 in there. Did you spot that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, he wasn't paying that much attention. Well, Sibanda then said, Fison Tuli Nkani, I asked him why or how does he manage to stay with these guys as they talk that they are hitmen. Makhosonke said he never said that nor mentioned it to Brigadier Gininda. Sibanda continued to read. I was discouraging him to stay away from those hitmen, but he told me that he's not involved. Makhosonke's response was that, which means this entire paragraph is full of lies. I don't know it. Sibanda continued to read. I asked Gwabini this because he's also my relative. I also believe that I could speak to him openly. Somewhere in 2018, I met Sizwe Zungu in person, who he continued to discuss the involvement of the above names in the Senzo Meyiwa murder. Makhosonke then said that in 2018 he never met Sizwe Zungu. He never said that. He said he met him personally in 2019 to inform him that he joined the team of the investigating, or the team that's investigating Senzo Meyiwa's murder. So Sibanda said it, or continued to read, it was clear that Sizwe was convinced that the above guys were involved in the murder of Senzo Meyiwa. He further was certain that Gwabini knows something about it. He made it certain that he was told this by them, but I do not recall who told, although I suspect it's Moses Bia. Makhosonke said those are lies. You know, even the handwriting was hard to read. We remember many statements where the handwriting was hard
Shredded statements. Let's press the like button, guys. Please, 500 people. Let's press the like button.
Then Sibanda said, I advised him not to get involved in this case as it will put his life in danger. And then, did you warn Constable Zungu that his involvement in this case will put his life in danger? Makhosonke said, as I've already said, I did say that at the conversation that we had at the engine garage. And then Sibanda said, how did this piece of information find itself in the statement? Well, Makhosonke said, just like I said, the statement was never read and I don't know what was written. It only was read to me before Advocate Baloyi. I then agreed with what I knew and informed him of what I did not know. Sibanda then asked him, did you tell Brigadier Gininda about this warning you gave to Constable Zungu? And Makhosonke said, yes, I said it. And then Sibanda said, I said this because the above boys were known to be killing people for a living. This is from the so-called statement. They will also brag about it or show off. And Makhosonke said, that to me is a disgrace because I know Mafika is someone who was employed at Carltonville. And then Sibanda said, did you say this to Brigadier Gininda? And Makhosonke said, hence I'm saying it's a disgrace because I never said it. Then Sibanda continued to read. Mafika Ntanzi was even showing off to me about the murders that were committed by his friends. Although he never implicated himself, but he did say to me that they were involved in the murder of Senzo Meyiwa. And then Makhosonke said, those are lies. I never even said it. I don't even know about it. Sibanda said, or continued to read, at some stage Ntanzi threatened to shoot and kill me. So I decided to stay out of his way. Makhosonke said they are lies and he did not know anything about what was written there in that particular state. It's paragraph. You know what's another interesting thing that kept happening? Sibanda kept leaning to take maybe advice or instructions from Advocate Baloyi. At no point did he ask the judge for permission to do that. But we must also highlight that Nisi was told that it is wrong. They don't even ask the judge for permission. Now Nisi, every time he has to do something, he's asking the judge for permission. But the same rules don't apply for the state.
Power games. Just press the like button, guys.
Then Sibanda said, I have seen Moses Bia carry, or he was reading the statement, I have seen Moses Bia carry a small firearm, which I think is a pistol. And then, hearsay, guys. Just hearsay stuff. I don't take them serious. They don't have proof. It's just hearsay. A lot of hearsay. It's even boring because it's hearsay. Hearsay. Well, Makhosonke said, where would I have seen him? I don't stay in Vosloorus and I don't know about that. And then Sibanda now asked him, do you know where Muzi was staying? And Makhosonke said, even though I'm not 100% sure as to whether he was staying full-time at Vosloorus or full-time back home, I'm not sure. Please note that Muzi was staying in Tembisa around this time period that it is alleged in the statement. Well, Sibanda said, I've also stopped, or he continued to read the statement, I've also stopped him at one stage when he wanted to shoot and kill a guy from Tuba. And Makhosonke said those are lies. He never said that. He continued to read Sibanda. I further know that he shot at Fonozindwandwe, Wagwa Kaya Kwateza, Ulundi, around 2014.
What happens if they bring that Fanos?
Maybe they should, just for further embarrassment, because this is crazy. Maybe they should. Because the interesting thing is that there's a case that Muzi is convicted 12 years for. He got arrested in 2020. By 2022, before the trial began, he had already received the conviction of 12 years for murder and attempted murder. I'm not making this up, guys.
Buffering, guys, we can see. It's buffering.
Well, and then that trial went, what I'm trying to highlight is that trial went on very fast. It went on very, very fast. It took no less than 2 years. So, Ofonozi perhaps were testifying as us. Well, then, Makhosonke said those were lies. It was never said by him. Then, Sibanda said, are you also from Kwaqeza? And Makhosonke said, I'm from Mahlabathini. Then Sibanda said, do you know this place of Kwaqeza? And Makhosonke said, yes, I know it as a hospital. I was born at that hospital. Makhosonke said he doesn't know this individual by the name of Folozi. Then Sibanda said Muzi's father with the name Nomalis Bia intervened to protect his son and offered the Ndwandwe family some compensation so that his son does not get prosecuted or arrested. Makhosonke said he does not know. It was said by Yende and that Muzi had shot someone in Kwakaya and so then some gold was offered. Makhosonke said he knew nothing about that. And then Sibanda said, or continued to read from the statement, indeed Muzi Bia was not arrested or charged and prosecuted for the shooting. In June 2020, I received a call from Gwabini who informed me that he was interviewed by the police on the Senzo Meyiwa murder. He told me that he told the police about my name, but he also indicated that I do not know anything about the murder of Senzo Meyiwa except that at some stage I was at Vosloorus when the above guys went out and killed Senzo Meyiwa and returned to the hostel. So all of this was just so Zungu's testimony can be complimented and supported. No wonder why it was written in Makhosonke's absence. I'm just saying.
You're buffering.
Okay, Makhosonke maintained that it's lies. Gwabini contacted him and informed him about his arrest as well as the money issue and that he was also assaulted, that which was written, that he contacted me and interviewed by the police. Those are lies. Even the police themselves, he said, confirmed that when they said to me, did your brother inform you that we assaulted him? He actually said that Mabena is the one who told him this. On their way to Johannesburg, he said to him, these were his words, you are going to talk. Did your brother tell you how we assaulted him because he wanted to be a smart one, or he thought he was as smart as you? So now Makhosonke is saying that Mabena was telling him all of this on his way to Joburg, that yes, confirming that we assaulted your brother Gwabini. Sure. So after the long adjournment, Sibanda wanted clarity in Kwaqeza. He wanted to know if it's a hospital or an area. And Makhosonke said it's a hospital in KwaMahlabathini. Mr. Anonymous, is KwaMahlabathini and Ulundi the same place?
I don't know how many times I've gotten that question. No.
Okay. There's also a police station called Kwaqeza. So Sibanda was asking, is the area now Kwaqeza? And Makhosonke said, although he's not familiar with that one, he doesn't know. Sibanda then said, I'm putting it to you that Gwabini, in his evidence, never mentioned that you were involved in the money that was to be paid or posed as bail. And Makhosonke said, I won't comment on what was said by Gwabini. And Sibanda said, we have two versions in this court regarding that amount of 2,000 rands. Sibanda now hammered on the 3,000 rand amount that Gwabini fixed under oath. He did correct himself, but Sibanda is holding on. And he asked Makhosonke, do you know any 3,000 rands that was to be paid? And Makhosonke said no. Sibanda said, all continued to read. I asked Gwabini if these guys indeed killed Senzo for real and returned to the hostel when I was there. I asked him if it was exactly this day or not. Gwabini told me that he's not sure if it was that day exactly, but that case above, that above guys did kill Senzo. Together with the others are known to me. Gwabini told me that he told the police about my name. Makhosonke said he doesn't know about that. Gwabini never told him that he gave his name to the police. Then Sibanda continued to read. Thereafter, returning to the hostel where Muzi spoke about it, and he said, we have evidence in this court that upon their return, Muzi reached for something to climb on. He was wearing a red shirt in his hand and took a whiskey that was there, and he announced the death of Senzo Meyiwa. Makhosonke said he did not know about that. He would be lying. And then Sibanda continued to read the statement. It said he advised me to prepare myself for the police as he already told them that he knows. He further told me that he was phoned by Sfiso Nkanintuli, who wanted to know how much he told the police about his involvement in the murder of Senzo Meyiwa. Gwabini did not tell me exactly what he told Nkani about his conversation with the police about him. Gwabini said Muzisbia also phoned him about the same issue where he asked him not to reveal the truth to the police about their involvement in the murder of Senzo Meyiwa. Gwabini told me that Nkani also phoned me. I have not yet received a call from him. He, in brackets, Nkani, is currently in prison in Kalagabusha, somewhere in KZN. I was further phoned by Mandlenkosi Zondo, who works in the Northwest Mines. He told me that Mafika was arrested and he wanted to know if I would be cooperating with the police as they want to talk to me as well. I told him, yes, I will cooperate. I will be able to identify Muzisbia Mafika and Tanzi Gwabini Zungu. Makhosonke asked Sibanda to not oppress him again and that he must respect him and not look down on him. But then Sibanda said he will pretend that Makhosonke did not say that, or that he did not hear what Makhosonke said. He continued to read the statement. It said, I further was told that Nkani was had a silver Polo and he has this car, or had this car around 2014. Makhosonke said he didn't know, and he's finding all of this information out in court. Then he read the I certify that this information is true, Warawara part, which is at the final page, the final paper. And what's interesting about it is that that's where his signature is, and the date and the time. While Sibanda also ignored the Yeovil part, the statement being taken into Yeovil. He did not cross-examine on it. He did not ask on it. He just flat out ignored it. Makhosonke at some point also asked to go to the bathroom, and when he returned, Sibanda put it to him again. He said from paragraph 1 to paragraph 10, where there were incriminating portions that mentioned the death of Senzo Meyiwa. They are all denied, and things that are non-incriminating are admitted by yourself here today. Why? What they question. Mshololo objected and said the witness will not know which portion is incriminating and which is not. Which is true. The judge said it was read to him today. It's not like he doesn't know what is written in there.
Stupid.
Mshololo said he should state in which paragraph and not pose the question as a blanket form. The judge said he will allow the question. Mr. Makhosonke must go over the statement and choose what is incriminating and what is not. I judge yenu, guys. I judge. And then the Mnisi, also stood up and but Makhosonke, before that happened, Makhosonke said that there are portions, he did state that there are portions that he agreed with and there are portions that he did not agree with.
Good answer.
The statement also says that it was done at Yeovil. It means they interviewed someone else and then only his details were included and inserted. Could that person be Constable Zungu?
Nice one.
Mnisi then said Makhosonke is a layman. He does not know what is incriminating and what is not incriminating. The state does not even say to him incriminating in that context or in that context. That is a very unfair question. Well, he should have seen in Ratha's face.
And then that's when the judge realized that he's actually accepting things that is not supposed to accept. Nonsense.
That question should be directed to people like us, is what Munisi was saying. This is a layman. It's very unfair and embarrassing. I mean, vague. While Mshololo also pointed out that it is unfair for the witness to be given the statement to point what is incriminating and what is not incriminating. The judge said that this happens in South Africa all the time. In his 36 years in his career, he's seen it happen where a witness is told to look at their statement and point out which parts are incriminating and which parts are not incriminating. And then Sibanda refined the question to say that what is incriminating is statements about the death of Senzo Meyiwa. Still, very much vague.
He told you he doesn't know anything about that. That is consistent, in fact.
Makhosonke said he's denying it because he was not there on the 26th of October 2014. Yeah, Sibanda then put it to him that he was driving Constable Zungu's white sedan. And then the judge defended Sibanda in the stupid question and said that it has a double meaning. You being in the car, it can be said that you were driving in the car with the person.
Yazi into iyafana nangilo muntu khona omunye nami impela nje osingenene namhlanje awuna uChristopher asingenene. So Christopher has a problem with Zungu not knowing the other Zungu, even though the father tells you that the mother left with Zungu. Zungu doesn't stay with the father.
He doesn't stay at KwaMahlabathini.
So umuntu okhulele edrobheni mhlasimpe.
He grew up in Newcastle.
Umuntu okhulele edrobheni, in fact we even further found out that he's actually in Nkandla, where he spent a lot of time.
Which
is far if you know when a Christian